Welcome to Chapter 1.1, Introductions to Management, Part 2. In these lessons, I will explain about the management process.
Okay, now we look into the management process. Actually, what is the management process? So, the management process involves a series of activities and functions that manager perform to achieve organizational goals efficiently and effectively. Yeah, so these functions are we started with the planning, and then organizing, leading, and monitoring. Okay, planning. Planning is the first step. Actually, it's the first step in management process. It involves setting organizational goal and objective, determining the strategies and actions needed to achieve those goals, and developing plan to guide the organization in the desired directions. So the key activity in planning include defining goals, analyzing the current situations, identifying opportunities and threats, and formulating strategy and creating action plans. So let's break down the concept of planning in the management process. In order for you to understand what is planning, now imagine that you are the captains of a sport teams, and your team's ultimate goal is to win the championships. So here, how the management process with planning as the first step applies to your roles. First, by defining goals. The first things you need to do as a captain is to define clear and specific goals. In this case, your goal is to win the championship. So this is the overarching activities that guide your team's efforts. So second is to analyzing the current situations. You should assess your team's current situations. This involves understandings of your team's strengths and weaknesses and any limitations. There are injured players, or there are areas where your teams need improvement, like defense or offense. So you need to understand that. And then you also need to be able to identify the opportunities and threats. In the sport world, opportunities and threats come from the various sources. Opportunity could include the availabilities of skills player in the transfer market or new training facility. And then the threat might involve a strong rival team or the possibility of the key player being pushed by other teams. And then you also need to be able to formulate in strategy with a clear understanding of your goals, your team's current situations, and the opportunities and threats. You need to develop strategies. For instance, if you identify that your team's defense is weak, you may strategize to focus on the strengthening it. If a key opponent's team has a star player, you may plan to specific tactic to neutralize their impact. And then you also need able to creating action plan, whereby to implement your strategies, you need detailed action plans. This plan break down what needs to be done on a day-to-day or game-to-game basis. For example, if you are focusing on defense, your action might include drills, training session, and specific rules for each player during games. And so, in this context of being a sports teams, captains, planning involve, as a sport team captains, planning involve setting the goal of winning the championship, analyzing your team's strengths and weaknesses, identifying opportunities and threats in the sport environment, formulating strategy to achieve your goal, and creating detailed action plan for your team members. So in the worlds of business or any organizations, the management process follow a similar structures. Planning is the critical first step because it's laid the foundation for all other management activities. Is to provide directions, help allocate resources effectively, and ensures that everyone in the organization is working toward a common purpose. Okay, organizing. So organizing involve arranging the structurings, the resources, which is people, material, finances, and technologies, and the structurings, the resources necessary, to implement the plans developed during the planning phase. And then manager must establish clear rules and responsibilities, create organizational structures, delegate authority, and allocate resources efficiently. And then this function ensures that the organization has the right people in the right positions and that resources are used effectively. Okay, let's break down the concept of organizing in the management process. Imagine you're the managers of a pizza restaurant. So actually, I'm giving you different positions, different level of management, and different with this different scenario, because we need to be able to understand at each level, either top management or middle management or supervisory management, and they have a different functions and responsibility. So for this example, imagine yourself as the manager of pizza restaurant, and your goal is to provide excellent service and delicious pizzas to your customer. Here, how the organizing functions in management applies to your role. First, you need to establishing clear roles and responsibility in your pizza restaurants. There are various tasks that need to be done, such as taking orders, preparing ingredients, cooking pizza, serving customer, and managing finances. So organizing involves defining who is responsible for each of these tasks. For example, you might designate specific employees as a cook, food servers, cashiers, and kitchen staff. Each of them have a clear roles and set responsibility. And then uh, the second one is unique to creating organizational structures to ensure smooth operations. You need to create an organizational structures. This means deciding how different rules and positions are related to each other in a restaurant. You might have a hierarchical structures with you as the manager at the top, followed by the supervisors, kitchen staff, and food servers. So these structures help everyone know their place in the organizations. And then the third one is by the delegating an authority. As the manager, you cannot do everything yourself. Organizing involves delegating authority, which means giving certain employees the powers to make decisions within their area of responsibility. For instance, you might empower the head uh, chef to make decisions. So about the kitchen, you ask the head chef to make decisions about the kitchens, while the cashier can handle financial transactions. So, and then you need to also allocating resources efficiently. Efficient resources allocation is a crucial. You need to make sure you have enough ingredients, kitchens, equipment, staff, and budget to meet the customer demand. So organizing ensures that these resources are allocated in a way that maximizes productivity and minimizes the waste. And then, for example, if you notice that you have uh, high demands for a particular type of pizza, you will then need to organize your kitchen staff and ingredients accordingly to meet that demand efficiently. So, in the context of your pizza restaurants, organizing is essential because it helps ensures that the right people are performing the right tasks. The kitchen is a well-equipped staff, know their rules, and resources are used efficiently. So this in turn contribute to providing excellent service and delicious pizza to your customers. So in the broader business world, organizing plays a vital role in optimizing the use of resources and ensures that an organization play are effectively put into action and in the fundamental functions of management that help businesses run smoothly and achieve their goals. Leading or directing actually is the third process of management process. So, leading or directing is the process of influencing and motivating the employee toward the achievement of organizational goals. So, this function involves effectively communication, decision making, and the ability to inspire and guide employees. So, a manager provide leadership, set expectation, and also monitor performance to ensure that employees are working effectively and efficiently. And then let's explain the concept of leading in the management process. So imagine now you should imagine yourself the manager of a software development team, and your goal is to create a new mobile apps for your companies. Here are how the leading function in management apply to your roles. First is by providing leadership. Leading involve being role models and providing clear directions to your team. You should you set the visions for the mobile app project, emphasizing the importance of creating innovative and user-friendly apps that meet the company's goals. And then second one is the effectively communication. So effective communication is a crucial part of leading. You communicate the project objective, timeline and expectation to your team. You also listen to your team members' ideas, concern, and feedback. For example, you might hold regular teams meetings to discuss project progress and address any issue. And then the third one is by decision making. As the manager, you make important decisions regarding the project. For instance, you might have to decide on the app features, the technologies that to use, and resource allocations. Your decision should align with the project goals and the company overall strategy. And the fourth one is by motivating and inspiring. Leading also involve motivating and inspiring your teams. Your recognize, reward their achievement, and encourage them to take ownership of their works. You might inspire teams by sharing success story of other apps in the market, or by highlighting the positive impact the apps will have on the company and its customers. In the context of managing a software development team, leading is a crucial because it helps ensures that your team is motivated, focused, and aligned with the project objective. Effective leadership can lead to higher productivity, creativity, and job satisfaction among your team's members. In the broader business world, leading is a fundamental function of management that apply to the various role and industry. It's about guiding and inspiring people to achieve a common goals, whether it's developing a mobile apps, running a manufacturing plant, or managing a retail store. Good leadership can have a significant impact on an organization's success. Okay, and the last but not least in the management process is the controlling. So the controlling is the functions in the management process and involve monitoring and evaluating the performance of the organizations against the established goal and plans. So managers compare actual result with the desired outcome and take a corrective action if necessary. These functions help ensures that the organization stay and tracks and make adjustment when a deviation occur. So it is important to note that these management functions are not always sequential, and manager often engage in this simultaneously or in a flexible manner. So effective management required a balance of these functions, and manager at different level of the organizations may emphasize different aspects of the process based on their role and responsibility. So let's explain the concept of now the controlling in the management process. So now you're imagine the manager of the bookstore, and your goal is to increase sales revenue by 20% over the next years. Here, how the controlling function in management applies to your roles. First, by establishing goal and plan at the beginning of the year, you set a clear goals to increase sales revenue by 20%. So you also create a details a plan that includes strategies like expanding the product range, running promotions, and enhancing customer service to achieve these goals. And then the second one is by monitoring and evaluating performance. Throughout the year, you closely monitors the bookstore performance. You keep track of daily, weekly, and monthly sales figures, customer feedback, and inventory levels. This information is compared to your original goals and plans. And then you need to comparing actual result with this desired outcome. As year progresses, you compare the actual revenue and other performance metric to the 20% increase you aim for it. If, for example, you see the sales have only increased by 10%, you have identified a variation from your goals, then you need to take in corrective actions by controlling involve taking corrections actions when deviation occur. In this case, since you are falling short of your 20% sales increase target, you might decide to implement new marketing strategies, maybe offer additional discounts or further expand your product range to boost sales in the remaining months. And then you need to ensure, the organizations stay on track, which is by monitoring, evaluating, and taking correction actions. You ensures that your bookstore stay on track to achieve its goals. This continuous feedback loops allows you to make adjustment as needed, preventing significant deviation and helping you reach your target. And in the context, controlling is crucial because it helps you track progress toward your sales revenue goals and make necessary adjustments to achieve it. It ensures that your plan remains relevant and effective in the face of changing circumstances, such as a shift in the customer preferences or market conditions. So, in the broader business world, controlling is the fundamental functions of management that help organizations stay aligned with their objective and respond to challenges or opportunities effectively. It's like steering a ship towards a destination, constantly checking the ship course and making course correction as needed to reach the desired port. Okay, we go back to the main for conclusion for this topic of management process. So we understand, know the management process actually is involved a series of interconnected functions to achieve organizational goals. Planning, for instance, planning sets the directions and the objective. Organizing structured resources and responsibilities, leading, motivate and guide employees, and controlling, monitors progress and task corrective actions. So these functions work together to ensure efficient and effective operations, enabling managers to lead their teams towards success and adapt to changing circumstances, ultimately helping organizations achieve their desired outcome.